Do you find the loan process intimidating? Oftentimes people find it intimidating because they don't know what to expect. And so today we're going to go over what to expect before the process begins or before you actually go under contract, from contract to close, and then from closing and beyond, and what to expect from your lender during that process. And this video isn't just for first-time home buyers, because I know that is very intimidating as a first-time home buyer, but it's also for people that are going back into the market of selling and buying a new house, because a lot of times people don't really remember what happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and they're going to have to reacquaint themselves with what actually needs to be done in a lending process. So today I have Paul Lamnatos with Blink Lending. Say hi, Paul.
Hello, Home Buying Nation.
And Paul is going to go over today all this information for us and tell us what to expect, what to do, what not to do during this process, and just overall to allow you to go into the process with confidence and moving forward with your lender. So Paul, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Erica. So an old mentor of mine used to say, a clear mind says go, and a foggy mind says no. And the home buying process, it can be a lot of them. When you don't know, there's hesitation. Well, what's around the corner? What do I expect next? What do I do? Contact a mortgage lender first? Do I contact a realtor first? Am I supposed to find a house and then contact a realtor? So all these are questions that I've gotten from first-time home buyers. And the intention of this is to kind of break it up, as Erica mentioned, into three parts, right? What to expect before finding a house, what to expect during the home buying process, and then what to expect after you get the keys in your hand and now you got a monthly mortgage payment every month. What comes after that, right? So before the process, I'm a big fan of contacting a mortgage company first, getting pre-approved, then reaching out to your realtor. Of course, I'm a huge fan of Erica, so if you're not reaching out to her, well, shame on you. And then the third part is let's go out and let's look for houses, right? So mortgage lender. I'm a big fan of using local independent mortgage companies, similar to insurance companies that are independent local insurance companies. Local independent mortgage companies have multiple carriers, for lack of better terms, so are able to provide the most aggressive loan products at the lowest interest rates, the lowest fees, and have the quickest and smoothest closing timelines. The reason behind that is, well, all they focus on is mortgage loans, mortgage loans. They don't have deposit business or other branches of their services that can slow it down. But at the end of the day, get pre-approved with who you feel comfortable with. During the pre-approval process, you're going to be asked three main questions. What's your credit? What's your income? What are your assets? And after you answer those questions, you're going to be asked to verify them. So the way you verify your credit is you're going to have your credit pulled. So be prepared to give your social security, your date of birth, your address, and all that stuff to pull your credit. I'm not a fan of having your credit pulled by multiple companies, so I'd select 2 to 3, try to apply it all on the same day. It limits the impact on your score overall, plus it gets you more consistent answers while everybody's playing on the same plane. The next part is going to be your income. So you're going to state your income, but then you verify the income. How you verify that? Think 222. 2 pay stubs, 2 years of W-2s, 2 years of tax returns. And of course, it's the most recent 2 pay stubs, the most recent 2 years of W-2s, and the most recent 2 years of tax returns. And thirdly, assets. Assets, where's your down payment coming from? Is it coming from a checking account? Is it coming from a savings account or a retirement account? And typically, most lenders are going to want to see 2 months of bank statements verifying where the down payment's coming from. So once you provided your supporting documents to your mortgage company, they're then going to ask you a few questions, which are, is there a particular price range of house that you're looking to buy? Is there a certain monthly mortgage payment that you're looking to stay within? And why they're going to ask you those questions first is to see are your expectations in line with what you're eligible, with the loan that's eligible for you? Meaning, if you're looking at a $400,000 home and your payment is going to be $3,200 a month, is that what you expected? Or did you expect a higher payment or a lower payment? If it's a higher payment, well, then maybe you can move your pre-approval amount up. Maybe instead of a $400,000 house, you can look at $450,000 or $500,000. And of course, if the payment you had in mind is lower, well, then we need to lower that purchase price, right, to $350,000 or $300,000 or whatever the number is. So now after you've had the conversation with your mortgage company, you can now with confidence contact Erica and say, Erica, here, I have my pre-approval letter here. I'm ready to go out and start house shopping. So while you're looking for a house, things that you want to make sure you're doing is providing updated documentation to your mortgage company. Updated documentation like most recent pay stub or your bank statements as new bank statements come available and new pay stubs come available.
Mm-hmm. So in the process before you actually buy the house, as a lender yourself, do you walk people through their different options? I know that whenever you and I did, you actually did my conventional loan for my house currently. And when we did go through that, we did a kind of a walkthrough of 3 different options I had. And I really appreciated that. And you kind of told me, like, if your plan is to live in this house with a certain amount of years, then this is probably your best bet. And I really appreciated that. Is that something that lenders normally do, or is that something that your Blink Lending does in particular? And is that done before process, like during getting the pre-approval, or is that done after the house is actually under contract?
First of all, thank you. That was an awesome compliment. The short answer is yes. I'm sure other mortgage companies do it. We intentionally do it. One of our core values is that we dwell in the world of choice. I feel it's so important in any time, especially today's time, that we really have as many options available to us as possible. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when people were buying houses, I'm buying this house, I'm gonna have my family, and I'm gonna live in this house for the next 20, 30 years. Very rarely does that happen today, right? So what the approach we take is, first, let's identify which loan product is best for you. And it really comes down to 3. Is it a conventional loan, is it an FHA loan, or a VA loan? And our process is simple. If you qualify for a VA loan, there is no other option. That's a loan for you. It's the best available loan. If you're not a veteran and we don't qualify for a VA loan, well, then the second best option is a conventional loan. And then if a conventional loan is not an option, well, then we go to an FHA loan. So once we've identified the product, right, and Erica, you and I have a video about the difference between conventional and FHA and VA loans that if you're watching this and you haven't watched it, I highly encourage you to go watch that. So once we've identified the loan product, we now go over 3 different loan options. Because you mentioned it, Erica, it's not a one-size-fits-all, right? Some people buy a house and I'm going to live in it 2 years. When my wife and I bought our house, we knew we were not going to live in the house more than 5 years. So I did a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage. It gave me a lower initial rate, which allowed me to have a lower payment and pay more money towards my principal. So within 5 years, when I knew I was going to sell it, I would have saved more money by not making as high as a monthly mortgage payment. And 2, I would owe less, therefore I make more. That worked for me in that scenario, right? Now, if I'm talking to another client and I say, hey, how long do you plan on living in this house? I'm going to live in there 3 years. Great. Do you have any aspirations of keeping it as a rental property? See, the first loan we did, Erica, was we asked, are you going to keep this as a rental property? And you knew you weren't. So that's why we went with the loan option that we did. Had you said you're going to keep it as a rental, well, then we likely would have went with a different loan option because you're going to have that house for a longer period of time. Therefore, long-term strategy changes. So yes, always 3 options with us, no matter if you're talking to myself or any of our other team members. And once we find out, which loan option is best, meaning, are you going to be in the house 3 years? Well, do we want to look at an adjustable rate mortgage? Are you going to keep it as a rental? Do we want to do a shorter term or a lower fixed rate? Once we identify the product within the product, well, now we present the additional options. And imagine a seesaw, right, in the playground. On one side are rates, on another are fees. If you want a lower rate, your fees go up. If you want lower fees, your rate goes up. And it's just about finding that perfect balance for our clients as what feels best for them. So yes, always loan options with us. It's important now and forever.
if you have not been able to look at any of these videos, or if you've seen a couple of them, please go ahead and like this video below and subscribe to Erica Parker Now. And there's plenty of other videos that we have on here that can help you out in your loan buying process. And also subscribe to Blink Lending TV. I know that Paul does a lot of information on loans and escrows, and probably goes more in depth than we do here. So please subscribe to Blink Lending TV. And thank you so much, Paul, for being on here and just all of the things that you've done for us. And thank you, Home Buying Nation. We'll see you soon.
My pleasure. Thank you.